Hey, what's up, Hognose fans? Thanks for tuning back into Hognose 1. So, in continuation, last time we talked about anti-predator toxins for the food items of the Western Plains hognose snake. Specifically, we were looking at frogs and toads. This time, we're going to be talking about salamanders. So, many of you realize that salamanders also can possess different types of toxin. They lack the parotid gland, but they do have glands that are located near the tail that do actually secrete a different type of toxin. We call it a steroidal alkaloid, and actually it specifically is called a batrachotoxin. And this particular toxin, it binds to sodium and prevents nerve cells from closing. It actually leads to paralysis and in some rare cases can lead to death. Now, most of the predators that inhabit the Great Plains of the United States, where the Western Plains hognose snake occupies, have developed some type of resistance to these toxins. However, there may be a caveat. There may be certain populations that have not built up resistance. One of the situations I can think of is I acquired feeder toads at one point in time from a wholesaler many years ago, I think somewhere around 2001, from a different state. They were from the western portion of New Mexico, and these feeder spadefoot toads, couchi was the specific species, were fed to plains hognose snakes from the Texas Panhandle. And in one case, one of the toads that was fed to the hognose snake caused that hognose snake, an adult female, to expire within 24 hours. So it's believed to be something toxic that particular hognose snake was not adept to be able to break down. Now, you may ask this question, how in the world does a hognose, or any species for that matter, break down toxins? It's something that they've developed evolutionarily, which is really pretty cool. It's an adaptation that they have to be able to break down certain types of toxins. It's through the avenue of an adrenal gland. If you are familiar with the adrenals, where they're located, you've heard the term adrenaline. Somebody got a shot of adrenaline when they were chased by the cops, decided to flee their car and scale buildings and jump fences and leap through forest and whatnot. But you understand the point. It's given individuals sometimes certain superpowers, if you will, to be able to lift up a car, to remove it from, being over a baby in an accident or such and such. But regardless, they are located on the top of the kidney. They're released very quickly when they're needed. It's something instinctive that most animals have. So it's triggered by the brain and an instinctive moment when we would need to have something fight or flight. We've talked about that very recently, the fight, the flight, or the fright, which is more camouflage, I think, and survival instincts. This particular one would tie in most closely with run. So the prevalence of these steroidal alkaloids, the batrachotoxins, the bufatoxins, any of these things like this being released into the bloodstream of an animal as it's ingesting, it acts to counteract, if you will, the intended effect. So that's something that these animals, the hognose snakes, have developed that really, really assists them. So in the study that was done that we'll talk about here, toxin resistance in the toad specialist Heterodon had higher levels of intrarenal cells. These are the ones that produce corticosteroids. And Heterodon also had a larger adrenal gland to body size ratio than most other species. So this is something that they've developed through time. Now, in this particular case, it was referring to the eastern hognose snake, but the western hognose snake, obviously very closely related, likely has very, very similar ratios with the adrenal gland size for that type of snake. Now, she compared snakes in her study, rat snakes and garter snakes, I believe, and we know that garter snakes obviously do consume amphibian prey. So the fact that the hognose snake has larger adrenal glands, I think, is very important. So cool stuff here that we've looked into in understanding the ability of the Western Plains hognose snake to deal with certain anti-predator toxins in the prey that it eats. Hope you enjoyed the cast today. As always, thank you for the like and subscribe, and I hope to catch you on the flip side.